When Roland announced the E-X30 Arranger keyboard, I was excited when I saw the specifications, as you might be able to tell from the video that I did right over here. And the Roland E-X30 looks really promising on paper. It is packed full of voices, more than 700 to be precise. And rhythm-wise, it comes with 347 rhythms, which is much more than other competitor keyboards in that same price range. My experience with Roland goes a long way. I've played on the Roland Atelier organ, the AT70 in the 1990s, and I've also played on the Roland Juno, their Sound Canvas module, as well as their HP series digital pianos and the portable pianos, the FP series. And Roland is synonymous with making really good synthesizer and sound products. However, it made a slippery slope down to the bottom when it started to work with Medley, and they came out with the EX20, which I didn't like at all. And I thought that they would have taken the feedback as well as the complaints from customers, as well as on YouTube, about the poor quality of the EX20 and how it sounds bad, and they would have improved on it, but apparently not. So I bought this Roland E-X30 with my own money. It costs about $350 and I thought that perhaps there is a lot more Roland inside here. So there might be some small differences between the different models, but really the Roland E-X30 is not a very good keyboard at all. So I have played on the Roland E-X30 for a month now. So here are my final thoughts about this keyboard. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jeremy C, and on my channel I make unbiased, independent and unsponsored reviews, tips and tutorials about Arranger keyboards as well as digital pianos. If content like this interests you, make sure you subscribe and smash that notification bell icon. So here is my list of final conclusions about the Roland EX30. The very first thing that you would notice is that there is really very little Roland in this keyboard. It is pretty much just the China brand Medley keyboard that is in here with the Roland brand pasted on it. First, let's talk about sounds. There isn't any of the Roland iconic sounds found on their supernatural technology. In fact, I am just surprised that Roland hasn't even included sounds from their Roland Gold keys or even from their Roland FP series piano. So I don't expect them to put in all the sounds, but please put in a couple of decent sounds from the Gold keys and the FP series digital pianos, and I think this has the potential to do better. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and really inside here is just a very generic sample ROM that is in here that just don't sound good at this price range of $350. So not only are the samples not very realistic, there is very little thought in putting in proper effects on the sounds that comes in default, and the velocity mapping isn't exactly the best either. And let's talk about the one-touch setting. So one-touch setting is one place where Arranger keyboards get a chance to shine, because you can just sit down, turn on a beat, put on a one-touch setting and start playing straight away. But the one-touch setting, the sounds that's been matched with the rhythms, just don't go that well together. Next, let's talk about the 347 rhythms that are in here. So there are quite a lot of rhythms in here, but they are really just not very well programmed. It feels very haphazardly put together without much thought into it. There isn't a good use of the DSP that is found on this sound chip to make everything just sound better. The other thing that I don't like about the Roland EX30 is that the rhythm transition, there isn't just a very good transition between the different variations and the fill-ins when you're switching between the intro, ending, etc. It's just not as smooth as those found on the Yamaha keyboards. Next, let's talk about design. So the design of this keyboard is very angular, very boxy, very 1980s, 1990s. It just feels out of place when we are approaching 2020. So it is not something which has a lot of Roland DNA in it. So we will all think of Roland products as pretty quirky and usually has a very iconic kind of design language, but you don't find it here. Let's talk about the build quality. So this is made with very hard plastic, this shiny, and doesn't have any of the very premium feel to it, and I just don't feel that this will take a couple of knocks here and there when you're bringing it out gigging or as a portable keyboard. The speakers here are loud. I give it to them that it is pretty loud, but it just lacks dynamic range. So it has volume, but it doesn't have the kind of range that does justice to the low bass end notes or the high-end frequencies as well. And when it comes to the LCD screen of this display, I have to give it to them. It does give quite a bit of information, but this is a really very old way of making an LCD panel, and you can most likely get this from the parts bin for like a couple of dollars each. It didn't seem like the designer actually sat down and looked at the final product, because if I am sitting down here in this direction and I'm looking at the LCD screen, basically the bottom 10% of the information cannot be seen from this direction. I actually have to lean right over to see what's happening on the lower part of the LCD screen. This just is very poor design on the part of Roland. So one of the things that I was really excited about was the 256 notes of polyphony. This just sounded so good on paper, because no keyboard in this price range comes anywhere near to 256 notes of polyphony. Most of the keyboards around this price range has about 64 notes of polyphony and maximum 128 notes of polyphony. But this really is just how it sounds on paper, because when I play it, I didn't really have to play a lot of notes before I started to hear notes falling off. So it doesn't sound like it really has 256 notes of polyphony. It might be there as a marketing thing or as a technical spec, but when I play it, I don't feel that it has 256 notes of polyphony. I may be wrong, so anyone who's out there who can correct me, leave a comment down below. So the keypad here is pretty decent. It has a pretty firm touch, a very assured feel, and not too noisy, but that's just about it. It doesn't feel premium like those found on the higher end keyboards at all. The other thing I need to give brownie points to Roland is that they have made it very easy to use. The layout is very logical, so the UI is actually very decent. I didn't have to dig through the owner's manual to find out how to do most things, and for this, I think it deserves a compliment. In this lower intermediate range, it's getting a little bit crowded. We have the Yamaha PSR E463 EW410, which I have reviewed, and I'm gonna link it here. And there's also the KORG EK50, which I have also reviewed and is definitely better than this. I'll link it here. It's only just about like $40 more than this Roland EX30. And of course, we've got the Casio CTX3000, which is the cheapest among all at $299, and it comes with the AIX sound chip, which I have also made a review on the Casio CTX5000, which I'll link up here. If you want me to make a closer comparison and what I think between the 4 different keyboards, the Yamaha, the KORG, the Roland, and the Casio, leave a comment down below, and if there's enough interest, I will make that video. And for those who are thinking about buying this keyboard or even considering this Roland EX30, I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.